Elliot was an experienced hiker, seasoned, confident, and deeply connected to nature. He often sought solitude in the wilderness, expecting tranquility and scenic beauty. But on one particularly remote trail near a river deep in the forest, he stumbled upon something he never could have imagined. Down in the water, a massive troop of gorillas had gathered. At first, Elliot was frozen by disbelief. Dozens of the creatures moved in a synchronized pattern, leaping, splashing, turning in strange unison. It didn't look like play. It looked intentional, almost ritualistic. He blinked, hoping it was a mirage. But the rhythm continued. With every passing second, fascination gave way to fear. A chill crept up his spine. Whatever these gorillas were doing, it wasn't normal, and Elliot was certain. He wasn't supposed to be there. Before we continue, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss more strange wilderness encounters like this one. Still crouching behind a tree, Elliot tried to make sense of the surreal scene. The gorillas moved as if they were following some hidden rhythm. Their motions were deliberate, jumping, slapping the water, and grunting in unison. Driven by equal parts curiosity and disbelief, Elliot took out his phone and began recording. "No one's going to believe this," he muttered. But the moment his screen lit up, something changed. The gorillas stopped. Their heads turned in unison toward his direction. Then came the sound, low, guttural howls that escalated into full-throated roars. Elliot froze. The forest echoed with their cries. His instincts screamed at him to run, but his body refused to move until one of the gorillas took a step toward him. He turned and bolted uphill. Behind him, twigs snapped and leaves rustled. Movement, heavy movement. They were chasing him. Adrenaline surged as he sprinted through the dense brush, but panic took over. He tripped over a thick tree root and crashed hard into the dirt. Pain shot through his ankle, but he didn't stop. He scrambled to his feet, heart pounding like a drum, and ran again. Ahead, he spotted a hollowed-out tree, wide enough to hide inside. Without thinking, he dove in, wedging himself against the rough bark. The gorilla's footsteps closed in. Grunts and snorts filled the air just outside his hiding place. Elliot didn't breathe, didn't blink. The creatures sniffed around, circling the tree. One even pressed a hand against the bark. Seconds stretched into minutes. Finally, blessed silence. When the forest fell quiet, Elliot cautiously emerged. His legs were numb, his body scraped and sore, but he had to keep moving. The river might offer cover if he stayed hidden in the shadows. He made his way back, carefully navigating the forest floor, avoiding any dry leaves or snapping twigs. When he reached the riverbank, he saw the gorillas were still there, but now more scattered, seemingly calmer. This was his chance. Wading into the icy water, Elliot let the current carry him downstream. Every step was a struggle against the slick, shifting riverbed. The cold bit into his legs, but he didn't stop. His eyes stayed on the gorillas, making sure none spotted him. Then, splash. A shape moved in the water. One of the gorillas was coming toward him. Elliot ducked behind a large boulder, pressing his back against the cold, wet stone. The gorilla approached, curious, eyes scanning the area. Elliot didn't move. He didn't even breathe. The gorilla paused, sniffed the air, and then turned away. Relief crashed over him, but he knew it was only temporary. He had to get out, now. He spotted a steep hill nearby. From the top, he could get a better vantage point, and maybe even find a way out of the forest. With the gorillas momentarily distracted, he climbed, using trees and roots to pull himself up. His muscles screamed, but he pushed through the burn. Halfway up, he paused and glanced back. No sign of the gorillas, just rustling leaves and distant bird song. When he reached the summit, hope flickered. The view stretched for miles, and in the distance, he spotted movement. Not gorillas this time, people. He hurried down the far side of the hill, crashing through underbrush until he stumbled into a clearing with tents and a smoldering fire. A group of hikers looked up in surprise as Elliot burst in, breathless and wide-eyed. "They're in the river," he gasped. "Gorillas, dozens of them, moving in sync." The hikers listened, expressions darkening with every detail. One of them suggested they report it to the rangers. Elliot agreed. At the nearest ranger station, Elliot gave a full account of what he had witnessed. The rangers listened closely, particularly intrigued by the synchronized behavior. "That's not typical guerrilla activity," one ranger murmured. "Could be environmental stress, or something else." Another suggested the behavior could be an attempt at communication, or even a hunting strategy. Whatever it was, the rangers decided to investigate, and asked Elliot to guide them back. Despite the fear in his gut, Elliot agreed. He knew the forest too well to let others go blindly into it. Armed with tranquilizer guns and supplies, the rangers followed Elliot back through the winding trail. The forest was tense with anticipation. Every rustle felt like a threat. Finally, they reached the river, and there they were, the guerrillas, still moving in eerie unison. But now, something else was happening. One ranger pointed. "Look." In the water, the guerrillas were placing stones and sticks in a deliberate pattern. It wasn't random, it was construction. "A trap," one ranger whispered. "They're fishing." Elliot's breath caught in his throat. This wasn't instinctive behavior. It was intelligent, organized, desperate. The rangers determined the troop was starving. The ritual, the synchronized movement, it was all part of a new hunting strategy, a survival mechanism. "We can't let them stay here," a ranger said. "It's too close to trails." They devised a plan. Lure the guerrillas back into the forest and contact wildlife specialists to relocate them to a safer, more suitable habitat. Elliot volunteered to help. From a safe distance, he mimicked animal calls while the rangers banged sticks and made noise to divert the troop. The guerrillas, confused but curious, followed the sounds deeper into the forest. With the area cleared, the rangers radioed for backup. The response was swift. A team from an animal welfare organization arrived within hours to begin the relocation. Elliot watched as the guerrillas were safely sedated, examined, and prepared for transport. He felt a deep sense of relief and pride. Back at the station, he thanked the rangers and the hikers who had helped him. Their shared experience had created an unspoken bond. Returning home, Elliot reflected on everything he had seen. The forest was more mysterious and intelligent than he had ever imagined. His encounter had changed him. From that day forward, he committed himself to raising awareness about wildlife conservation and the silent struggles animals endure as their habitats shift. What started as a routine hike had become a mission, and Elliot knew this story was just the beginning.